September 19, 2021. The Honorable Robert O'Neill, Senior Desk Officer, Horn of Africa, Office of East African Affairs, U.S. Agency for International Development. Dear Honorable Robert O'Neill, we sincerely wanted to express our gratitude to you and President Joe Biden for his executive order. We also wanted to thank the United States government and witness that the United States government is showing its unwavering support to Ethiopia, particularly the Ethiopian people. Sanctioning the criminals, those parties, party and political elites, and the government officials committing and enabling crime on innocent citizens. By isolating the Ethiopian government from the Ethiopian people demonstrates the care and good intentions of the United States government towards the people of Ethiopia and Ethiopia as a country to achieve democracy and the rule of law as a lasting and permanent solution for peace and unity for Ethiopian people. We believe this has come from the century-old alliance and friendship of the United States of America with Ethiopia. The Ethiopians have been suffering from the cruel and brutal atrocities of the Tigray People Liberation Front, TPLF, and the Oromo Liberation Front, OLF, administration without a legitimate constitution for 30 years. The arrogance and brutality became more subtle during Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, the Oromo Democratic Party chairman, who has OLF top leaders as his top advisors. OLF continued slaughtering and killing too many innocent Amhara people and other Ethiopian citizens and children in a manner we have never heard of before in the history of Ethiopia. We believe the EPLF, TPLF, and OLF are still working together towards their strategic alliance on destroying Ethiopia and building their sovereign nations in Tigray and Oromia, respectively, by taking over all the resources of Ethiopia among themselves. They all primarily targeted the ethnic Amhara and the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, because they firmly believe in the Ethiopian existence as one sovereign nation. Also, EPLF, TPLF, and OLF groups are using the Trojan horse Amhara Democratic Party, which recently called itself the Amhara Prosperity Party, where most of its leaders come from another ethnic group, but raised in the Amhara region, lived in the Amhara region, married to Amhara, who know the Amhara mindset and psychological makeup. This Amhara party leaders are there for controlling the Amhara struggle by aborting it from within, and they also brought many Amhara activists and fighters either to jail or assassinated them. Such a colonial strategy of using people living in Amhara to undermine the Amhara people is used by EPLF and TPLF, and now the Prime Minister Abiy administration, the chairman of Oromo Democratic Party, is following similar strategy. These atrocities didn't end within the Amhara people only. However, it is still spreading to the other part of Ethiopia, including Somali, the Afar, Gambela, the Ghetto, the Sidama, the Woleta, the Guragi, and most ethnic groups in the southern regions of Ethiopia, and so on have all suffered from this arrogant and brutal administration. Dear Mr. Robert O'Neill, the Abiy government currently kept 40,000 Amhara under siege in Wuliga by his OLF rebels to starve them to death and killed 17 of them in an unspeakable cruel manner which went out to look for food. Similarly, crimes are committing in Benshangul and Wello. Furthermore, the Ethiopian government hides this brutal killings and the terrible famine happening in Wello to decimate Amharas. TPLF has controlled a sizable portion of the Amhara region, killing many and starving the rest to death, primarily in Wello. None of these crimes made it to the news on government-owned or affiliated media despite Wello, Somali, Afar, Ghetto, and other parts of Ethiopia being vulnerable to death because of hunger and disease, about 7 million Ethiopian people. Dear Robert O'Neill, we do not believe that an ordinary Tigrayan or ordinary Oromo hates an ordinary Amhara or any other ethnicity to commit such horrible crime. Nevertheless, it is only a plan to be enabled and sponsored by EPLF, TPLF and OLF, the government. The main reason for killing and eradicating Amhara is to destroy Ethiopia and the Orthodox Church, since EPLF, TPLF and OLF firmly believe that destroying Amhara and the Orthodox Church as destroying Ethiopia and remove their primary obstacle to their secession plan. Before the TPLF and OLF implanted the 1995 fraudulent pseudo-constitution in Ethiopian politics, Ethiopians have lived together in harmony, and there were no such crimes. There were some conflicts around their administrative boundaries, primarily over grazing lands, which local seniors resolved. However, it is almost impossible to secede Tigray and Oromia from Ethiopia for the following reasons. 1. They have the same common historical tradition. 2. They have the same racial or ethnic identity. 3. They have the same cultural homogeneity. 4. They have the same national, linguistic unity. 5. They have the same religious or ideological beliefs. 6. They have the same geographic undivided universal land as one nation. 7. They have the same common economic conditions. 8. They have the same typical phenotype and genotype. This non-exclusive list of criteria provides objective ways to categorize the Ethiopian people in their one sovereign nation. For example, there is no single genetic difference in DNA among the Ethiopian people. Also, no international genetic laboratory can differentiate the supermajority of Ethiopian people genotype, phenotype, mitochondria, and haploid type in this world because we, the Ethiopian people, lived peacefully together before the 1995 fraudulent pseudo-constitution of TPLF/OLF existed in Ethiopia for more than 3,000-year history on the same sovereign nation in one universal land with no different domestic boundary demarcation. Dear Robert O'Neill, the Ethiopian Survival and Salvation Association appeals tirelessly with our coalition of several Ethiopian citizens, including different organizations voicing to the U.S. government, UN, AU, and the international communities the crimes in Ethiopia. Also, we would like to clarify that we are strongly expressing our voice to remove the 1995 fraudulent pseudo-constitution of TPLF-OLF and replace it with a legitimate constitution with national referendum in Ethiopia, because Ethiopia did not have a constitution for the past 30 years. Also, the Ethiopian people enormously struggled against the TPLF and OLF crafted pseudo-constitution for 9 embedded and hidden sovereign countries that wanted to come to existence after destroying sovereign Ethiopia. So, we are exposing this crime to the whole world that a sovereign Ethiopia, who is a founding member of UN and AU, and a longtime close ally of the USA attacked by secessionist Trojan horses, EPLF, TPLF, OLF/Oromo Democratic Party/Oromo Prosperity Party, and Amhara Democratic Party/Amhara Prosperity Party. Fundamentally, Ethiopia always stood for peace, justice, and equality in the world affair. Now Ethiopia needs the UN, AU, and especially the USA, as there will never come to exist a solid and reliable partner in the Horn of Africa other than Ethiopia, which shares many values in Congo, Korea, and fighting terrorism alongside the USA. Like Japan, Israel, South Korea need US support and vice versa. Ethiopia is even the longest ally that needs US support and vice versa. So we are kindly looking forward to presenting our concerns and talking points for collaboration with you and your administration urgently as soon as possible face-to-face or virtual with the next 10 days. The Ethiopian people sent a strong message to Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed not to use faked election inauguration without a legitimate constitution referendum in Ethiopia. Also, we strongly oppose Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed not using the Blue Book of the 1995 fraudulent pseudo-constitution of TPLF, OLF to sworn. The 1995 Blue Book Constitution of TPLF and OLF was not belong to Ethiopia, even with one word. Instead, they wrote a Blue Book Constitution of 1995 directly to create 9 hidden countries listed in Article 47 of the 1995 TPLF and OLF in sovereign Ethiopia. They were, moreover, manipulating the English language using the Ethiopian national language Amharic with a different meaning to the Ethiopian people with deep cover. Thus, fraudulently legalized the destruction of a sovereign Ethiopia, and the realization of the illegally embedded 9 sovereign countries into existence on the ashes of Ethiopia. Therefore we, the Ethiopian Salvation and Survival Association, and our coalition strongly requesting your immediate help in the name of Almighty God. 1. Stop the war in Ethiopia unconditionally and immediately by the UN intervention. 2. United Nations decision intervention will immediately suspend the 1995 fraudulent, illegal and criminal pseudo-constitution of TPLF and OLF. 3. Call Ethiopians for national all-inclusive dialogue to discuss the new proposed constitution, and set a date for making a national referendum for a new constitution. We also need to follow with its immediate implementation of police training for 14 provinces, and national police training for the federal government all equally. Also, the proposed constitution draft is already on hand for the Ethiopian people to discuss on the website worldwide for more than 5 years. 4. Bring to international justice the leaders and criminals of EPLF, TPLF, and OLF factions, including Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, for his cooperation with his hidden agenda of OLF cessation crime, undermining the United Nations power. Designate EPLF, TPLF, and OLF under United Nations designated terrorist list so that all its criminal members are brought to justice, and apply targeted sanctions on its members and affiliations. 5. Rehabilitation and emergency relief food assistance for all internally displaced people from their homes by EPLF, TPLF, and OLF, the current government in Ethiopia, which is about 7 million. Exceptional support for Ethiopian victims of rape, war crimes, and genocide whose lives have changed with cruelty. May God bless you, God bless the United States of America, and God bless the Ethiopian people and Ethiopia. Yours respectfully, Ethiopian Survival and Salvation Association, ESSA, Committee. Mekonnen Doyemo, Chairperson of ESSA. Tefera Demis, Vice Chairperson of ESSA. Dr. Debru Negash, Medical Advisor and Community Organizer. Dr. Aragaheg Nagatu, Chairman of Moorish Amhara Association. Dr. Abiy Asefa, Chairperson of Mogd Amhara Association. Engineer Mesfin Yilma, Community Organizer. Aster Jesses, Community Organizer. Baruch Ibas, Media Director. Contact 61270222899. Email doyemo1@gmail.com.